Welcome back to the show. It's the bricks and the bread, yay for me. And today we're taking a look at the brand new LEGO Optimus Prime, just in time for Prime Month. Wait, it is Prime Month, right? LEGO Optimus is a childhood dream 40 years in the making, with our heroic leader fashioned in signature LEGO style. But with a hefty price tag of $170 US, first we gotta ask ourselves, do we even need a LEGO Optimus Prime? But secondly, can one of its biggest criticisms also be indicative of its genius design? Taking G1's chunky aesthetics and combining it with LEGO's brick-based system is basically a match made in heaven, and Optimus Prime is the perfect character to tackle since he's already pretty blocky and cube-shaped. And unlike previous attempts, this one accurately captures the main gimmick of the original line too. The guy who designed Creo is f***ing ugly crying somewhere at Hasbro HQ right about now. It expertly captures the broad strokes of the character, though it's a little sparse on surface details. Some of the more important things they've represented as printed plates, depicting his face and Autobot badges. The set does include some stickers for his legs and his crotch, but you know how we feel about those. He towers over all other Transformers, even the original Masterpiece Optimus. Yeah, I bet you youngins didn't even know there was an original Masterpiece Optimus. Did you? That figure definitely appears to have been a major influence on the production of this set, with a little bit of inspiration possibly drawn from Robot Master's Optimus 2. It makes me think this is kind of LEGO's foray into the Masterpiece-alike grind. Something I am thankful for is the design of the hands. I don't remember if this has come up on the show before, but I honestly hate when figures have individually movable fingers because micromanaging every digit really stresses me out. LEGO has resisted the temptation to separate the fingers, but it's a simple change if you would prefer a fully articulated hand. On his back, you will find Sideswipe's jetpack. It's technically an accessory since you have to remove it before transforming, but it does feel like an integral part of the figure because there's just a hollow empty space in Optimus's back without it. But it's so weird to me that Optimus has just co-opted this accessory from Sideswipe, since I believe he only uses it in one scene, and it's one of the most pathetic scenes in the entire series.
Optimus, I think he wants his change back.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have no refunds.
Let me in, Megatron.
What's wrong with you? Oh, yeah.
Fuck him up!
Holy shit! You think he'll survive, Turkeys?
He doesn't. Can I have a spare tire?
Shit!
His other accessories include his trusty Ion Blaster. It's an unbelievably cool and intricate fusion of standard LEGO and Technic parts, and it looks perfect. Unlike the Energon X, which is laughably inaccurate. Listen, I'm not a LEGO designer, but there was an incredibly simple way to make it look way better. Next is the Energon Cube, and ironically this might be my favorite accessory. Does anyone remember when old Irwin DBZ figures would all come with Dragon Balls? Yeah, some of them were the wrong color, and half the figures came with guns, that's real. I think Transformers should all come with little Energon Cubes too. And finally, as is tradition, Optimus's chest opens to reveal the saddest Matrix I've ever seen in my life. It's not even the right colors. They couldn't make the whole center part orange. He can hold it, which, okay, that's definitely special. Not every Optimus can do that. But it feels a bit disrespectful to design the Autobot's most precious relic in such an unrefined way. I think I might have preferred if the Matrix was just a sticker. By now you may have caught on to the fact that I've yet to mention the minifigures in this set, and that's because he doesn't come with any. No little Optimus, no Spike, not even a Buster Witwicky. That's not a weird reach, there's comic art in the instruction book. Listen, LEGO is all about the minifigs. Similarly priced sets come with them. Even sets that don't need minifigs come with minifigs. Now, they wouldn't really add anything to the playability of this set because there's no vehicle interior, but their absence kind of reduces the collector's value a bit, and it almost feels like we've been blue-balled by LEGO. Speaking of playability, the transformation is the all too familiar sequence of moves a la the original G1 toy, but I do see a bit of that Masterpiece influence too, like with these panels in the front and in the way the feet fold over themselves. The upper body tends to separate from the lower body at the swivel, so always double check and make sure he's lined up whenever you transform him. Vehicle mode is my favorite between the two. I never get tired of the classic big red truck, and LEGO is really great at designing vehicles. Again, absolutely perfect for LEGO because he's already kind of a big cube on wheels, but subtler aspects like the slanted windows work to enrich the design and keep it from looking too bland and stiff. I feel it outshines the robot mode in certain ways. Since it's a little more compact, it's easier to take in all the smaller exterior details, such as the side view mirrors, the different lights, and the long Japanese-style smokestacks. Ooh, baby. Yeah, I'm definitely a size queen when it comes to smokestacks. The weight of the Legos helps him roll really well too, as do the soft plastic tires. The construction of the cab itself is a little patchy, with all the parts able to wiggle around, resulting in some annoying panel separation and huge gaps at the back. Lego probably just doesn't want parts to rub together when transforming, as well as needing enough clearance for the shoulders to move around in robot mode. His ion blaster can slot into the space between his legs, but unfortunately none of his other accessories are designed to store on the truck itself. So you have all this extra junk to hide somewhere should you wish to display him in vehicle mode, but here at the Gay for May show we are nothing if not creative. As big as the hype is for this set right now, there's one problem that I constantly see everyone talking about: the lack of knees. Transformers fans expect a pretty standard degree of articulation, and knees seem like a fundamental joint to leave out. Though that doesn't mean a figure is necessarily bad without them. Cyber Battalion Shockwave comes to mind. Now, Lego Optimus has knees, they just don't bend, but they do turn, which makes me happy because it means Optimus can stand a little more naturally and not look like he's waiting at the end of the hall for his turn on the sex box. To defend Lego a bit, calling for bendable knees strikes me as a fundamental misunderstanding of the product. Legos are heavy, and you don't want to make the figure more unstable on purpose, lest you invite accidents to happen. Lego has designed knees on big robots before, but with a dedicated mechanical support system, something they chose not to implement into this design. But why do I think they did this? Well, designing his legs as long columns makes the most sense if your goal is to have a very sturdy figure that's easy to display, which betrays to me that Optimus was designed with Lego's audience in mind primarily. This is an 18+ set, which is Lego shorthand to mean for adult collectors. That demographic doesn't play with their toys, they set them up on a shelf in their man cave. So when all their 32-year-old friends come over to watch Obi-Wan on Disney Plus, they go, "Whoa, you got the Lego Optimus Prime?" Gay for me, you're being too harsh. You bought one, and aren't you a 32-year-old man? Well, I am old, but I don't have a man cave. I have a mausoleum. You could easily infer that Lego cut corners with these knees, but my impression is that it's intentionally designed with pragmatic and display-friendly sensibilities in mind. If his legs don't bend, you only have to position the arms to make it look cool, and it also makes it easier to stand and transform, because as long as you convert the legs first, you can set the figure down and just focus on converting the rest of the body without it being unstable. These knees, and by extension these legs, are actually kind of genius on Lego's part, and it's a choice that I can appreciate as someone who also doesn't pose their figures in complicated poses either. It's a streamlining of the Transformers experience that makes it almost foolproof for anyone who engages with it. And again, like Shockwave, a figure can stand out and be beloved due to its other qualities, so a lack of articulation shouldn't always be judged so harshly. But based on the response I'm seeing online, Transformers fans don't appreciate any of that, and that's understandable. He's expensive, and he's already well beyond an acceptable piece-to-price value in the Lego economy, so the idea that they just didn't bother seems more likely and is even more disappointing. But I still contend that this set was designed for Lego fans first and foremost. So what then is the true appeal for Transformers fans? As cynical as it may sound, I think the appeal is mainly based on brand recognition and the novelty of a brick-built Optimus Prime. It's like how Lego makes a new X-Wing fighter every couple of years. They know people will buy it just because it's an X-Wing fighter. But I got the last one, why do I need this one? Don't you want fucking Porkins, the plus-size Star Wars character?
He's fat!
But as a Transformers fan, and more importantly, as a Transformers reviewer, I'm questioning whether this set is a necessity amongst the sea of hundreds of Optimus Primes. From a macro perspective, this figure doesn't offer much more than what I could also get from the smallest of Primes for a fraction of the price. And when we're talking modern Lego, recreating plain old Optimus Prime, a design with 40 years of refinement, doesn't seem all that daunting of a task. Now, there's nothing wrong with being plain. Some of the best things in life are plain. Vanilla ice cream, white women, and F-35s. But if I'm supposed to be impressed that Lego made it transform, like I'm not. I'll make this clear. You don't need this. Although I like this set and I think it's pretty well designed, its appeal to Transformers fans is mostly superficial. They're selling a Lego Optimus, the same way they sell underwear with the word Supreme printed on them. It's about the prestige of owning a name brand item. And if you're a true Transformers or Lego junkie who can shell out the dough for this set, you won't be disappointed. But if your concern is functionality, you're really not getting anything you can't get anywhere else. You may as well just buy Earthrise Prime or even Laser Prime, and you can watch my review for him right here. You also may have noticed that my Lego Prime looks a little different, and that's because I was using a custom head designed by LenD69. There's a link to the instructions on his Facebook page in the description. But anyway, that's just my opinions. Please leave yours in the comments below. Bye-bye.